Okay, here we go. Here's the example. Each pair of points lie on a line with the given slope. Find the value of x or y variable. Okay, so I'm going to split it into the 8 boxes. I will use 4 boxes for each problem. So here's example 1. Okay. We have 1 comma y and then 5 comma 5, and that means xy, xy, and then the slope equals negative 1/2. So the slope is your m. So what I'm going to do here is I know the slope. I got to go back and find the coordinates when I'm given the slope. So it's y minus y, x minus x equals negative 1/2. You make an equation out of it. Minus minus. Negative 1 is with negatives only with the 1, not with the 2. Okay, now compare your x's 1 and 5. 5's higher, you start here. So 5, 5, then 1 to the bottom, y to the top. Make those plus negatives, plus negative 1. Now 5 plus negative 1, there's no letter there, so we actually add those. You can't add these because that has a y, that doesn't. 5 plus negative 1 is 4. Then I bust out my old buddy, the A, B, C, D method of solving a ratio proportion problem. Equals 2 parentheses on each side, so A times B, C times D. So A, 5 plus negative 1y. And then B is going to be 2. C is negative 1, D is 4. Now we just times these on this side. It's going to be negative 4, but on the other side I need to apply the distributive property from the 2. So 2 times 5 times negative 1y. So that's going to be 10 and then negative 2y. Okay. So put your negative 2y first plus 10. Now you're ready to solve it. Okay. Minus 10 minus 10. So negative 4 minus 10 is negative 14, and you have negative 2 times y. Divide by negative 2, and y equals 7. Okay, next one, example 2. Zero, negative 1, x3. Slope equals 2. Remember, that means m equals 2. So you set your y minus y, x minus x equal to 2, but you want a number under the 2 so it lines up. So you place a 1 under it. You want your slope to have a number under it. You put a 1 under it. Okay. So let's come down here, 2 over 1, and let's fill in as much of that in as we can. So xy, xy. Now, you don't have a way to compare the x's, and the reason why you don't is because 0 and x. So start with this one, okay? Start with that one. Send 3 to the top, x to the bottom. Then we will be sending 0 to the bottom, negative 1 to the top. Now I can evaluate this, okay? Plus, plus. And that's 4. Now the beautiful thing here is if I'm subtracting 0, we can always get rid of the 0. Well, now it's a cross multiply and divide problem. 4 over x equals 2 over 1. So I'm cross multiplying and dividing. 4 times 1 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. Okay. That only works though if you have 0 with the letter. Okay, it's not yet complete. Okay. X, negative 3, and 5, negative 4. Okay, so the slope equals negative 1/3. Okay, so xy, xy, y minus y, x minus x equals negative 1 over 3. You turn it into an equation. So minus minus, Compare x's. Okay, I have x and 5, so we'll pretend x is the highest. It might not be, but start with x. Negative 3. Okay. Then you send 5 to the bottom, negative 4 on top. So where there's not a letter, I simplify. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. Okay. So I have 1 over x plus negative 5 equals negative 1 over 3. And it's A, B, C, D time. Okay. Because A times B is equal to C times D in a proportion all the time. So A, B, C, D. So A is 1, B is 3, C is negative 1, D is x plus negative 5. Put a 1 in front of the x, please. Okay. 1 times 3 is 3. Then you distribute your negative 1. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 5 is 5. Okay, so it's negative 1x plus 5. Wall, dot, circle. So I subtract 5. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. And then negative 1 times x. And divide by negative 1. And you have 2. Okay. Got it. Okay, slope equals 4 comma y, 8 comma negative 6, and the slope here is 2. Put a 1 under that 2, you always want that. Okay, so y minus y over x minus x equals the slope, which is 2 over 1. Okay, now we need to replace, still 2 over 1, but now we need to replace the x and y, so xy, xy. Compare the x's, okay? That's higher, okay? So I send 8 to the bottom. Remember, the x goes on bottom, negative 6 over it. Then over here, 4 to the bottom, y to the top, plus negative 1 plus negative. Okay, we need to evaluate the 8 plus negative 4. That's 4. There's no letter there, okay? So I have A, B, C, and D, okay? D is now 4. 2 parentheses on each side. So A, negative 6 plus negative 1y. That looks kind of ugly, but that's what we have. And B is 1. A times B. C times D. So C is 2, D is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. You have plus, and you need to distribute your 1. Okay. Times negative 6 times negative 1y, okay? Negative 1y, and then plus negative 6. Take your negative 6 to a 0 by adding 6, okay? Now divide by negative 1. Y equals negative 14, okay? Okay, next one, you got 2, 4, x, 8. And the slope in that problem is equal to negative 2 over 1. So compare your x's. Now if one of them is actually an x and you want to start with that one, use that as your starter. So 8 to the top, x to the bottom, minus, minus. Then other one, 2 on bottom, 4 on top. 8 plus negative 4 is 4. Make it plus negative 2. So AB, CD. A times B, C times D. So A, you got 4, B, you got 1, C, you got -2, D, you got X plus -2, and that's 1. Okay. 4 times 1 is 4. Now I distribute the -2. Okay. -2x, 4. Okay. Okay, wall, dot circle, get rid of your 4. That's 0, keep going. Zero equals x. Okay. You get 0, you get 0. You can have a coordinate with 0 in it, 0, 8. Alright, 4, 3, 5y. Slope equals 3. Okay, over 1. So y minus y over x minus x equals the slope, so 3 over 1. Okay, let's compare x coordinates. Let's never stop. 4 and 5. Okay, that's higher. Okay, so y 5, and then 4, 3, plus negative. You can figure out 5 plus -4. It's 1, and then it's still 3 over 1 over here. Okay. Okay, so A times B is equal to C times D. Okay. So A, y plus -3, apply a 1, and then B is 1. So C is 3, D is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. So 1, 1 times 1y times -3. So it's 1y, -3. Wall, dot circle. So take your -3 to a 0, so plus 3, that's 6. Divide by 1. 6 divided by 1 is 6. Okay. Okay, next one. 2, 4, x 8. Okay. So the slope is -1/2. xy, xy. Okay, -1 over 2. Okay. So minus minus. Remember, compare. Okay, if there's no x's to compare, you start with the x. X to the bottom, 8 to the top. 2 to the bottom, 4 to the top. So it's going to be 4. So A times B, C times D. You can't do x plus -2, so you place a 1, and then you apply your A, B, C, D. So A is going to be 4, B is 2, C is -1, and D is 1x plus -2. 4 times 2 is 8. So I multiply. -1 times 1x times -2. So this can be -1x plus 2 wall dot circle. Get your 2 to a 0, so subtract 2. 8 minus 2, 6. Then divide by your -1. is negative 6 equals x. Okay. Okay, finally, last problem. You only have 4 to do on the assignment. So 3 and y, 1 and 9. Okay. Okay, so slope equals negative 5 over 2. Okay, compare x's 3 to 1, so I want to start here. 3 to the bottom, y to the top. 1 to the bottom, 9 to the top. Plus negative, you can't add those, but you can add 3 to negative 1, that would be 2. Okay. Okay, so A, B, C, D, just like that. So A, y plus negative 9, and B is 2. C is negative 5, D would be 2. Okay, I can multiply here, it's negative 10. So 2, distribute the 2. So it's 2y, negative 18, okay? Wall dot circle, get your negative 18 to 0, so plus 18, and that's 8, 2 times y, okay? Y equals 4. Okay, you got 4 to do.